Origin's New Glenn rocket is finally set for its inaugural launch, a milestone in the orbital spaceflight ambitions of Blue Origin. The heavy lift rocket features a reusable first stage designed to handle up to 25 launches. The Maiden mission is going to demonstrate New Glenn's capabilities, paving the way for commercial payload launches and, of course, government contracts, which we've seen a ton of this year. Florida's Space Coast will host the launch, highlighting its role as a hub for private space exploration. And I mean, this is huge, a significant step in Blue Origin's competition with SpaceX. So I'm excited to see how this goes.
Yeah, this is two guys standing in front of it for. Couldn't they get them out of the picture?
No, I think it was.
It's about framing and picture composition.
It could have been Jeff Bezos.
This has been a long time coming, and I think it's fair to say the excitement's palpable. We've got 7 engines of the Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket roared to life the last Friday of December, concluding an extensive test campaign on the Florida Space Coast of this 320-foot tall rocket. Jarrett Jones from Blue Origin said that the success of the test proves that our rigorous approach to testing, combined with our incredible tooling and design engineering, is working as intended. And they have definitely done that. Lots of rigorous testing here. This launch could actually happen next week. So this is any day now. They're going to carry the Blue Ring Pathfinder hardware to test the company's ability to communicate, control hardware in space. This is going to help certify the vehicle for future national security missions for the U.S. Space Force. So I think the next step here is looking at the requirements for communication and for the USSF certifications.
Yeah, I mean, that's essential for future missions. But let's focus on the here and now. Launch logistics are going to be the real challenge on this one. You got a 320-foot rocket relying on 7 engines, I think you said, all firing perfectly. If you miss a step, contingencies, redundancies, or processes, it's not a maiden flight, it's a maiden flop. So let's get this bird in the sky first.
I think this testing is going to pay off, and they're going to be able to actually get this thing up there. I think that's.
So you're going on a wing and a prayer.
This is the thing to consider here is the payload. This is just one mission. You've got another requirements for what payload you're taking up and for those future launches, how they integrate into that process. There are commercial and government payloads that are going to need to be sent, and they are trying to compete with some other big players here. You've got to figure all of that out into your plan for what happens after this one says, yep, we're in space.
Okay, so future launches, it's good conversation to be had. Maybe in a few months' time we can have a future launch conversation. But let's make sure that we have a successful launch in the first place. You know, your payloads and your certifications are irrelevant if this flight doesn't succeed. So you got to get your process planning, your validation all done, making sure everything from ignition to orbit is smooth. And once we've proved that, then we can start to talk about future payloads and teddy bears and elephants to the moon and things like that we always talk about.
See, I've just got more confidence that we're going to see in the next week or two. Yep, another company has sent a rocket up into space, and now they're planning on doing some more. So I'm sticking to my engines here and saying I think the next focus is that requirements and traceability to build all those requirements in for what you're going to be launching, your future payloads, and how all of that works together.
Yeah. To me, it's all about twin action again. I think we got to bring the twins back into play. They've had a little rest. You want to be able to simulate your detailed launch procedures, incorporate your contingencies for potential malfunctions in the systems like engine ignition, staging, or comms, and then validate that launch sequence under realistic conditions to make sure every subsystem from the ground support to the rocket itself performs seamlessly. So it's a bit of twin action going on.
We will revisit this discussion in a few months after there's been the launch, and we'll see where we're at.
See you next week.